Well, hello. Welcome to Super Soldier Talk. I am James Rink, and I am the host of this podcast. We have Jay and April Matta here today. Thank you guys for coming on here on such short notice. I know we were kind of playing around here, bouncing around different times, but I finally got you here, and I'm really looking forward to this show today because we are going to be discussing about 5D economies. So, how are you doing today?
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us. It's an honor to be in your house.
Yeah, we're doing
and we're
well.
excited to connect with you.
Absolutely. And audience members, if you have any questions for our guests, there is a chat feature. So just go ahead and throw some of your questions out. So would you like to create your own NESARA, live your life to your fullest, take control of your own universe? So why don't you do that by joining Jay, April, and me today as we discuss quantum jumping and traveling through other timelines in order to manifest a 5D economy. So Jay and April are co-founders of the Gnostic TV network and Spiritually Raw, and I think there's actually a couple more in there. They are the next conscious marketing pioneers, next level. So tell us about some of the different operations that you're involved with.
Yeah, so obviously we're very well known for Gnostic TV, which is a super channel of like some of the greatest minds, and we called it Gnostic TV, Ancient Wisdoms Reimagined, and it really just honors the ancient wisdom of people that have taught us to this point. However, though, it brings forth those messengers that allow us to live and learn in 2024, right? So that's what that's about. So that's pretty cool. That network is has obviously a lot of shows on there, but there's events, there's conferences on there, so that's pretty cool. We have the 5D economy. That's a real special thing to myself and April, because we come from a belief, James, and is that the universe is our oyster, right? So it's like we're not just sitting there saying, okay, I wonder what the universe has in store for us. And we're like, what do we have in store for the universe? So we've been throughout these years really reversing that mindset and really, one after another. I mean, we've just seen so much validation from lifestyles to where we're able to travel, to where we're able to live, to what we're able to accomplish. And we see that not just with us, but people that really kind of take that mindset about like, hey, look, what are the possibilities are that we live in a multidimensional? Because then when you think like that, you start to not take things so seriously and start to not get so attached to the outcome of what change you here in this third dimensional world. So that's a highlight of a couple of projects that we do. Those are the most. We have others, like you said. There's more links in there that people will see. We're actually founders of a show called Spiritually Raw, which was a personal journey we took to really interview several thousands of people by now about what they've learned in their lifetime, so we could figure out, hey, how do we live in our lifetime? So it's all started from that, and here we are on Super Soldier.
Thank you. So there are many people that have written books on how to manifest, but have not actually done that. For example, the book Think and Grow Rich. I think that was Napoleon
Hill.
Yes. So it's a great book. It's a theoretical on conversation between the devil and Andrew Carnegie, but it was a fictional. So it sounds like you guys have put together this information and actually have followed through, walk the walk throughout your lifetime, and we're able to manifest. So I would like to learn a little bit more about that. So what is the key or secret behind manifesting?
James, I don't know if there's one key secret. It's been a compilation of trial and error and twisting and turning and, adding what works and deleting what doesn't work in our life. But I will tell you one main key to manifesting is you have to believe that you're worthy of receiving. And you can tear manifestation apart every which way to Sunday, but it honestly boils down to your mindset. You have to be in a positive, uplifting, high vibrational mindset, not just here and there. You have to do everything that you could possibly do to have that become who you are and your life. That's how you really start to manifest. I mean, the truth is we're always manifesting. We've been manifesting since we came out of the birth canal, right? But the $1 million question is, how do you manifest the big things in life, the big ones? And throughout our life, we get like pieces of it, you know, whether it's like the favorite car you ever wanted, or your boyfriend or the girlfriend, the dream person, the dream partner, or the dream house. But how do you maintain that? How do you consistently manifest? And it is 100% your mindset. And it is truly, honestly believing that you are worthy of receiving. That's really like the basis, the starting points of it.
If you look at it from the concept of this, like manifestation, the subconscious mind has to believe that you're worthy of what it is you're requesting. Okay, it has to be. So you can't just open up a book and say, well, the book said if I read this so many times, it'll happen. Or the book says if I post this on my vision board, it'll happen. Or the book says if I do this, or the book says that. That's good that the book says that. That's one part of it, is to be able to see it. But the subconscious mind is, you have to trick the subconscious mind literally to believe that you are absolutely worthy of NESARA, you know, a revaluation, whatever it is your thing is. But you have to trick the subconscious mind to do that, because if the subconscious mind doesn't believe it, it's just not going to happen. So, you know, there's ways to do that, and there's ways to ask yourself questions, which we've been employing a lot, is like, you know, and a simple question is like, they call it lofty questions. For example, James, it's you would say things like, why does everybody want to watch Super Soldier Talk all the time? Why is my channel blowing up constantly? Why is there so much business coming to me? You're asking the question.
Why do I always have a great day?
Yeah.
Why does the it can be even small things, James. Like, why does the universe always provide for me healthy food? When you ask them in these types of questions, you are putting yourself in the now. You're not worried about what may or may not happen in the future, and you're not crying over or being fixated on what you did or didn't do in the past. You need to put yourself in the present moment. That is how you start to manifest.
Yep. Actions always speak louder than words. So, you know, with words, with vision, action needs to follow. And that's where there's a lot of disconnect when manifestation is taught. They don't really, you know, I shouldn't say they don't, but it really is probably the most critical thing. If you want to be healthy, be around healthy people. If you want to be wealthy, be around wealthy people. I mean, and don't, you know, really be your surroundings where you at. I mean, if really, these things are not that difficult. They do take discipline, is what happens. They take discipline, but they're really not that difficult to be able to see. And they do work, because you're by law of whatever, you know, you're going to vibrate, you know, with the right people that are already accomplished and are on the same path that you are on. And then you start to see these things happen.
It takes really going within and learning how to reprogram your mind, release all the mental garbage that you've attained over the years, and allow yourself to start to truly live the life that you want to live, and release the things in your life that are no longer serving you. So if you're constantly holding on to things in the past, or things that are bringing you down, or things that are lowering your vibration, you're going to stay in that vibration. And in order for you to really manifest, you have to have a high vibration and be in a high frequency. And, you know, the other thing is, you hear people say all the time, oh, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. But they're always complaining about being broke. There's a major disconnect there. So that is very confusing. You're sending very confusing messages out. So you are not going to be rich if you're constantly complaining about you don't have enough money to pay your bills, or you don't have enough money to take the dream vacation of your life. You have to act in your life as if it's as it already is manifest.
Yeah, you know, you get a lot. I'll do this. I will take care of this when I get this. I'll do this for everybody when I get this. It's always a win. I get this. It's like a trade-off thing like that. So it's a constant seesaw. It's up and down, and that win if never really happens. But if you want to do something out of the goodness, do it in baby steps, and you'll see that, you know, whatever it is, your universe, whatever your faith is, whatever one believes, that's their business. But you'll see that these things will start to manifest. But just by being in that scenario, and you know, maybe suggestions is like, you know, maybe don't wait for all of a nothing approach. A lot of people wait for all or nothing, like I'm going big or I'm going home. Well, you know, just try to take a little bit, just get there, and then you'll learn how to get better and better, and you'll start to witness these things more.
All right. So step one is view your future goals in the present tense as it's already here now.
Yes.
So I'm waiting to get my UBI check, the $10,000 a month in the mail. But until we get that, we do live in this system. So I don't want to tell you all the things that I'm working on. Oh gosh, I mean, I have all these projects through my NESARA foundation that I'm setting up. But right now,
Nice.
so let's go into maybe another step here. So we have, is it the law of attraction or is it the law of magnetism? So meaning that if you want to live that lifestyle, you already have to see it already, right? So that's how it's. So what are your thoughts on that?
Not only do you have to see it, yes, you have to feel it, taste it, live it, become it. So if you are desiring something, and it may be, let's say, for example, you are desiring a relationship that you want, you have to put yourself in that position of that, not only that you're seeing it visually, but that you can literally feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it. You want to activate. The more you activate all of your senses, the quicker the manifestation is going to come to fruition. Now, here's an interesting thing too. The universe doesn't care about that. Let me put it as an example. You can have fire, right? Fire, you can burn your house down with fire, but at the same time, fire can save your life. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you light a little tiny stick, you put two sticks together, that could literally save your life. So it's neutral. The fire is neutral. The universe is exactly the same way. So if you're constantly saying that you want, I'll just use, money as an example, money, but you in your mind that you're saying, I don't believe I'm actually worthy of it, or my parents always told me money is hard to get, right? So in the back of your mind, if you believe that achieving financial abundance is hard, it is going to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. It is just as easy to manifest $1 as it is to manifest $100 or $1,000. It's the exact same process. It's what your mind, what your subconscious mind is truly believing that you are worthy of receiving.
You know,
that's honestly what so much of it breaks down to. Oh, so what I was about to say was, so if you're constantly in the mindset of I'm broke, I'm not worthy, I can't pay my bills, the universe doesn't see that as a negative. They don't see things as the universe does not judge, period. And they certainly don't judge things as a negative or a positive. How the universe works is you're going to receive whatever the thoughts in your mind are the most consuming. So if you're constantly, think about it this way, why are wealthy people so wealthy? Why is Donald Trump, he's a perfect example, why is it so easy for him to manifest just about everything? Because he's constantly saying, I am rich, I am wealthy. I'm attracted to money. Money comes easily to me. So what happens is he's raising his vibration to that level of frequency where money is very easily comes to him. But if your mind is constantly thinking, money is hard for me to manifest, money is hard for me to create, that is what the universe is going to design for you in your own world, because that is what you're focusing on most.
Your one guest brought up that you flashed up on the screen brought up a good point. Be where you want to go, and that's so true. You want to. You're right, and you want to be there. You do have to feel it, smell it. I mean, you gotta
no
be
limits.
There, or don't. You know what I mean? It's like how bad do you want it, right? And the way we look at our lives is we don't ultimately know. We have a lot of speculation. We have a lot of theory. We have a lot of different views and versions of what brings us to this planet, who we really are, how we really live, what we're supposed to do. The very pragmatic approach that I think we all know is that we all we start, and then we end up at a circle of life. We finish the circle of life. So why not try to live as like, hey, listen, you know what? What is the possibility that we are on this planet to really enjoy the hell out of it, and then go to these places we want to go. So if you want to become wildly abundant, go to travel those places. You be around that energy. If you want to have a successful business, maybe try on not asking someone that doesn't have a successful business what their opinion is. You know what I mean? There's a lot more of that going on than there's the other way that you want to take a look. If you want to be healthy, maybe try on not asking someone that's not so healthy what their opinion is about what it is you should be taking. You see, there's a tendency to ask the emotional connection surroundings that we all have, whether that be social media, whether it be internal families, to get their advice of things that they may not necessarily be aligned for. And manifestation will work when you are completely. See, the universe never gives you what you want; it gives you what you're worthy of, right? What you're worthy of. And if you don't believe that you're worthy of the world, the palaces, the gold, whatever it is you're looking for, whatever it is, you're just not going to get it. I mean, it's just that simple. But if you start to believe it, you internalize it, you're almost like if you get to the point where you're in shock why you don't have perfect health, you don't have perfect wealth, you don't have the perfect mate that rides with you, that's when you know that you're out of alignment. Okay, so just kind of, and I'm saying this in a way where people can look at this as little triggers, like, hey, why aren't I getting something? Because every biblical thing says that on earth as it is in heaven. All these different theories going around from different religions have some sort of catchphrase that says we can accomplish our life streams here. So why not is really what people should be doing.
The other thing, and this is so simplistic, this is a huge key in manifestation, is to be grateful. To show gratitude, but not just to show gratitude. Show gratitude for the things you have in your life right now. That's how you will start to get the things that you want in your life right now. So, if someone's saying, well, I really have nothing to be grateful for, my life is X, Y, and Z. Everybody has something to be grateful for. If your eyes are working, if your arms are working, if your legs are working, if your voice is working. The sunshine, the fresh air, the food that you eat. Every day, be grateful for the little things in life and truly start smelling the roses. Start enjoying the little things in life. And that's really where it starts. The heart chakra, absolutely.
And certainly. So let's just say you might be stuck in a thoughts, ruminations that are negative. And you're worried, oh, well, I can't, I feel like I can't do it. I'm so negative. What the thing is, through your heart chakra, it's activated through love, because God is love and God is all that is. So we can, through having love, we can access those higher frequencies to get what you desire. So always operate on the love frequency, and that will help you out too with your powerful heart chakra.
100%.
Absolutely. And gratitude is the easiest and the fastest way to raise your vibration.
You know how else you get something really good? Because a lot of people are like, and this is just indoctrination. I don't think people wake up and be like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to cause this person misery today. I think that there's just indoctrination about like people running there. But, I believe that, when you see someone successful, it would be try on championing that person on and say like, oh, they got all, what did they do to get it? You know, instead of questioning what they didn't do, because these people now have been shown, they're way showers now. They're showing you as a human spirit what exactly is possible. And when you align with that as a universal principle by saying, hey, you know what? Wow, maybe they can show me how to get even better than them or do that, because now I've seen it can be done. You see, there's people out there that show you things can be done. And I think a lot of times as a society, it's so easy to talk about, you know, what got them there, much so is like what happened. Look, they showed you it can be done. Find out what it is, get done, create your own version of it, and you'll start to find out. I mean, that's how you do. Surround yourself with leaders or whatever you want to call them who have what you want and they're willing to teach you. And I'm going to tell you something right now. There are so many people, wealthy people, healthy people, people that are living in a world that they feel like they're manifesting. They want to help you. I'm not even being funny, because that's how they understand the principle of that is how they continue to manifest. You know what I mean? It's by talking about it, by helping it. Like right now, being on your show, Super Soldier Talk, this is manifestation as it is. We're talking about it. This is the principle of it. So don't feel afraid to reach out to someone you don't know and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. I noticed you're successful at this. Could I set up that chat with you? Get in a rhythm. You'd be shocked at how many of these people that you would think would never want to do that would be honored and privileged to be able to share what their life's wisdom is with you.
I think what Jay also started to say earlier, the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. So if you can just take a moment and wrap your mind around that, the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. So if you're constantly in a state of depression or anger or frustration, you're going to manifest more of that. If you're in a constant state of joy and a higher frequency, you're going to manifest that. So here's along with gratitude is the quickest way to raise your vibration. But here's a very simple step to start manifesting right here, right now, today. And it's so simplistic. And this is the other thing too, James. I think a lot of people just want to complicate manifestation. We just got to break it down to the absolute simplistic. The easiest way to start manifesting is so simplistic. Start doing the little things in your life every single solitary day, starting right now, that make you feel happy, that bring you joy. And at the same time, start deleting things in your life, starting right now, that do not serve your higher purpose any longer. And sometimes that includes people, and sometimes that actually includes family members. But there is a point that you have to start releasing things in your life. It doesn't mean it has to be permanent, but just till you get to a point of where you're feeling more grounded, more stable, more happy, you feel like you're starting to manifest. You have to start releasing things in your life that are no longer serving your higher purpose.
Get what you want. It's a beautiful world out there if you look at it from the step. And you meaning you as you people watching as human beings, you should take the position that this is you're part of co-creation and get what you want. Just think about how you get what you want. Go out there with no apologies, do the right thing, be good to people, be cool along the way, and live life to the fullest.
And don't be apologetic. You're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't be apologetic for the things that you have that other people may feel jealous of or envious of. Don't feel guilty for having nice things. Don't feel guilty for having prosperity. Don't feel guilty for having superior health. Don't feel guilty for eating organic food and taking care of yourself. Don't feel guilty for spending extra time with your children.
And you're writing an ebook, aren't you? I like that. I love it.
So, absolutely. I think God really doesn't care either way of what you do. I think our whole reality is just based on just trying to be love and have that higher aspect if you want to go that way. So, I think a lot of us, we get caught in certain religions and belief systems, and maybe even our understandings of when we're growing up, what our parents taught us, that have limitations in our belief system. So certainly once you realize that you don't need those, belief systems, you can let it go and you can graduate and go to something even better. So
100%.
Exactly.
And then, you know, the other thing too is like a lot of people, for whatever reason, have a lot of guilt about saying that they want to be wealthy, or that it's almost like a feeling of like, if I obtain wealth and the people I'm surrounding with don't get wealth, then there's a lot of that guilt factor, right? So then there's a lot of being apologetic for creating that. Okay. And then again, that's such a disconnection with what your universe is really wanting for you, in our opinion. What our belief system is like, you know, like we interviewed so many people, a lot of and we'll hear this a lot, James. They'll say stuff like, well, you know, I'm not in it to make a living. I was just blessed with this power, but I'm not in it. I'm not trying to, I mean, they're justifying. And I think when you justify, it's like you're denouncing what is rightfully yours. And when you start to denounce what is rightfully yours, then you don't get what is rightfully yours. Right? Because instead of saying like this, instead of being big boys and big girls and saying, look, you know what, I think we all inherently want to do good. We want to feed the people. We want to make sure the kids, the people that can't take care of themselves, that we can as a society step up. But you're not giving from an empty cup. It's just not practical. You can't give if you don't got anything to give. You know? So if you want to do these things, you know, give to yourself and create your version of yourself so you can be in a position to help other people, or else you get stuck. And that's what happens.
Here's the bottom line. No one creates your reality other than you. So this is a big eye opener for a lot of people. And it's not always an easy pill to swallow, but when you realize that no one creates your life good, bad, fabulous, or awful other than yourself. So if your life is going great, congratulations, you created that life. If your life is not going in the direction that you want it to go, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do I need to do to turn this around? What do I need to do to shift my energy? What do I need to do to shift my reality? Because no one else is going to shift your reality other than you.
Absolutely. So manifest step number 6, take responsibility for your co-creative.
There you go. You got it. You should put an exclamation point with that one.
I love this. I love it.
Let's just use it. So because my channel is focused on SSP disclosure, we have people that might have been maybe in a project like IBIS, where they were put in cages with animals and tortured, and that they may have alters, and that there's like a background subconscious programming that's extremely negative, sometimes maybe even want to suicidal. So how could somebody take responsibility for their own creative powers when they're being sabotaged with this background programming? What would you recommend?
So I would say the most therapeutic thing in the world to do, if you have the wherewithal to do it and you have the ability to do it, is get on and do a show like we're doing right now, because it is the most therapeutic thing in the world to talk through it. So if you're stuck in something that's stuck in your head and you can't break the cycle, and you're stuck in that loop, which happens to all of us, you know, we find out, like even as doing this as long as we've been doing it, when we get stuck, we'll get on a show because we'll be able to talk it out. We'll be able to release it. The first thing is to be able to get rid of that stuff out of your consciousness. So if something's torturing you, getting you to that point of, like, you know, almost suicidal, whatever it is, talk it out and get on a show, and then you'll find that you'll get more therapeutic. Then you do it again, it'll even get better. Then you'll do it again, you'll start to build a level of confidence that you've never seen before. I mean, we're saying, I tell you, we've seen it enough times where we've seen it, life changes for people. I mean, one of the reasons we have Gnostic TV and we're such big into shows, because we believe at the end of the day, we can talk about all of this we want, all these different theories or whatever, but there's got to be something that gives you the fuel to get even to think like that. And so for us, we found out that having a show put us, James, in a state of mind, in a state of present moment that was like, it just electrified us. You've done it enough times. You know when you're channeling something or something just flowing, whatever it is you want to call it, something's just flowing through you in that moment because you're aligned, your consciousness is aligned with its state. It's a very healing thing to try on. I would suggest to people that if if they're struggling with things, and, bless you on, whatever has gone on in your life, is I would start with the little things, is to record your thoughts daily on your cell phone, right? Kind of like, you record it on this thing, just 5 minutes, watch yourself back like you're watching a podcast, and then do it again. And then you look at yourself, and then all of a sudden your mind will shift from not thinking like that to, hey, maybe I need a haircut, or maybe this will happen. You know what I mean? Your thought patterns start to shift. It starts to, again, it's that thing that starts to trip up the subconscious that gets the person to now start to reprogram exactly what they're believing. So that would be my suggestion. What would you?
Well, I'm want to make sure that answer your question properly. You're referencing people that were in cages or lived a life of, we're
talking severe traumas.
Severe trauma.
They're fractured, basically.
They're fractured.
And we find that type of fracturing causes them to self-sabotage all throughout their life. And they may have been able to survive the trauma, but that trauma is like a black cloud bringing them down. How can they? Yeah, I guess just.
It goes back to the same principle, James. So using that as an example, we have interviewed many people in they grew up in horrific environments where they were molested and sold by their own parents at very young ages. So we've seen and heard it all. There are people that will overcome those situations, and there are people that will absolutely never overcome those situations. And the people that do overcome those situations start to take control of their own life. They start to realize, you know what? You don't control my life. I control my life. They start to, again, it's going within. It's starting within. But going back further with that question, and this depends on your belief system. I personally believe in reincarnation. So now taking that same soul that was born, let's say, into a very abusive household, or they were abducted at a very young age, or who knows what. No one knows ultimately why a soul chooses to reincarnate and have those specific experiences. Now, this is my personal belief, and this is the reason I believe this way, because I don't believe God is an evil God, because that would be absolutely freaking hypocritical to say that if a child was born into a life of hell, let's put it, God put them in that situation. Well, that would be the most contradictory, evil God ever. So if you believe that God is an all-loving God, how did those situations occur? So from my perspective, what I believe is, because it's the only thing that makes sense, is when that soul reincarnates into earth, they know the traumas, the major altercations, the major turning points, the major experiences in their life before they reincarnate. Now, why would they choose to go through these horrific experiences? You and I will never have those answers. Only that soul knows those answers. Maybe in a previous life, the child that reincarnated in this life that chose to have an experience of being molested, let's say, or being raped or being murdered, maybe, just maybe, in a past life, they were the perpetrator. And now they need to feel and understand and experience what it's like to be a victim, because they caused a lot of victims, and they caused a lot of hurt, and they caused a lot of pain. So now they need to have that experience so that their soul can achieve a higher level of consciousness. So getting back to the original question, it really boils down to the same answer, that it takes going within.
Yeah.
It takes stepping back, and it takes this, James. It takes looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, it is my life, and I am the only person that has the ability to change it, to improve it, to make it better. And some people will absolutely go on that journey, because it's a journey. It's not always an easy journey. It's a lot easier, James, to stay in a low vibrational experience than it is to step up and to say, you know what, I'm not going to live this life anymore. I want to better my life, and I will do whatever I need to do. I'll start to take baby steps, or I'll take gigantic leaps of faith to start turning my life around. It's a lot easier to sit back and just be the victim than to be the victor. But there are many, many, many victors in this world.
It's just important to surround yourself with the vibration people that are lifting you up and not saying, oh, I'm sorry that. It's like, let's get through it. You know what I mean? There's got to be a lot of that. It's very easy. And I know this is kind of like, contradictory. People want to definitely show compassion and love. But I mean, if you think about it, if someone's going through a traumatic time and you got everybody on social media giving them tears and telling them how much they are hurting for them, it's almost like it's embedding that universal command.
It's creating more of it.
So you want to look at, try. It's not easy. This is not an easy thing. And we're not suggesting this is easy. We're not saying, okay, this is what it is. We're simply saying, look, life in and of itself is somewhat of a challenge. And you know what? We all have a race to run here. We all have something to walk on. So, we just got to flow and do what you can. But it's going to get down to your mindset of this whole thing, how you react.
And I do want to tag on to something that Jay said. You go on social media and you see people posting about their woes, their troubles, their lack of, their fear, their feeling of their, I see people all the time complaining about, they don't have enough money to pay their bills. Then they have all of these people that are commenting on their thread, on their trails. All that's doing is infusing more of that energy that you don't want. You're actually creating more of it. So here's the first step. Stop telling people your problems. Zip it up. Keep it to yourself. If it's just you and your husband and you got to feel like you got to release it, keep it between. Don't let it go outside your front door. Don't tell people about it. Don't tell people about the negative experiences that you feel like you have to let the world know about, because all that's going to do is infuse more energy into the experience that you don't want to have. Start talking about the wins in your life, not your losses. The more that you talk about your wins, the more the universe is going to create wins for you. The more that you talk about losses in your life, the more the universe is going to create losses in your life, because the universe, again, is neutral. They don't care if you're talking about wins. They don't care if you're talking about losses. It's all energy. So whatever you're focusing on and whatever you're giving the most energy to, whether it's good or bad, rich or poor, you're going to create more of it, period.
It happens like
that. Is how it works.
Look in the concept of NESARA, revaluations of currencies. Everybody gets really hyped up. Oh, it's going to revalue today. There's a height, and the next thing you know, oh, it didn't happen, and it brings you back down. And it brings you back down. And it brings you back up. And then it brings you back down, right? So you want to think in terms of, if you can create these own cycles within yourself, then you got a chance of having these, whatever you want to call them, play out. They may play out something differently. Maybe they're called something differently, but the concepts of them come to fruition because you live life as if you are. It's a pretty dangerous place, I will tell you. Social media has been is a blessing for people. I know obviously this is how we all meet. It's a blessing, but it also could be there. Just be careful what you do with it, because when you start to put out everything in there, think about there's so many people that have compassion, and think about like these people that they don't, it's like misery loves company, right? So they get drawn into that. Sometimes it's better if you
misery loves company, and guess what? Happiness and joy loves company as well.
It really does. It really does. Try to go in that camp. Try to go in the camp that does that, and you'll see and do it. I mean, I always say people like do something that you can measure. Give yourself 30 days.
Tanya's got it nailed. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. That is the right attitude. She's focusing on, you have to focus on creating your own life and making your life the best it can possibly be first, because you cannot help someone else until you help yourself first. You cannot be the best for someone else until you're the best for yourself first.
I think someone's in the chat saying, do I talk about these experiences and then to what content? I think, yeah, if people ask you to talk about them, absolutely. If people are saying, if people are asking you to talk about
if you're healed.
Yeah, if you're healed.
That's the difference. Should I start talking about my darker experiences? Well, that all depends. Are you 100% healed from those experiences to the point that you can talk about it without anger, without hostility, without revenge? If you can talk about those experiences from a place of love and that of a higher elevation, of a higher consciousness, that you have transcended those experiences, then by all means, because you're helping other people.
Then you're helping other people. Now you're an advocate.
Yeah.
So it's just the energy behind the whole conversation. So,
Very good question, Christy. I have a good question here. How should we pray? Do we invoke Jesus or God's name? I know some religions involve occult blood worship. They're worshiping over.
That's a great question.
It's totally up to your faith. So one of the things we've always started to recognize is that we can't discount the fact. So if someone says they believe in Jesus or the aliens or Buddha or whatever it is for them, we can't discount the fact that they may be receiving that stream of consciousness and it may be unique to them. So I would say talk or pray to whatever you want to do, but I would say most importantly, the strategy we've taken on is, and I don't mean this from a self-serving way, I mean this from a practical way, we have to live, we believe that we should be living like gods and goddesses. Okay, we believe that if we're an incarnation of, we're an image of, whatever these biblical things, we should be living like that. So we should command this to us. I don't know, and maybe other people can say, how many times is getting on your knees and saying, oh, listen, if you do this for me, I promise I'll never do this again. And if you do it for me, I promise that'll never happen again. I don't mean to denounce any of that because I know that's important to people. But how does that ever work out? We see a lot of people in desperation just jump on their knees versus how about maybe try this is what we try on. And again, the lofty questions is like, why do I got so much of this? Or instead of like getting on your knees in a submissive surrendering point, why not stand up and be like, all right, universe, this is what I'm looking for today. I want a healthier way for my kids. I want the best for my family. I want the best for my parents. I want to do this. I want you to work with me today on this. And you command the universe. So you could either get on the knees and do it that way, which if that's your thing, whatever works. If you see it working, then keep doing it, I guess. But if you don't see it working, what we found out, stand up, step up, go to your universe and say, hey, you know what? You're supposed to be unlimited, so let's prove it, right? And just step up there. This is all how we live. We only have each other, in my opinion, to show us how to live life. And all I can say is that April and I have lived life like this. And we see these things and we watch it. Now, did we just make this stuff up? No, we watch people that have what they want. They do what they're doing. This is how they live. They're very compassionate. They're very giving. They're very loving towards people, but they also take life into perspective. So without giving up your faith, also understand how to be able to manifest what you want along the way. So, this is really, again, live like, look, nobody knows that end game. That's the reality here. Nobody knows that end game where we're ultimately going to go. We don't know if we're going to just go. We just don't know. Okay. But what we can say is, just really just move through it, show each other what we got. And if we see something that someone's doing good and they're living well, they're living good and they're doing good for each other's, I think we're our own religions to really follow right now. Really.
My wise Roman mother said, don't preach, set an example. You are who you associate with, and we have the power to accomplish anything. I never had much money, and I didn't even need it. So we can still live in the idea of abundance. But but we want to draw it in though, and let's draw it in.
Well,
so how do we do that?
Abundance also comes in a million forms, right? Abundance is health. It's not just wealth. It's happiness. It's family. It's energy.
It's a positive timeline. We don't have zombies outside that door right now.
Exactly.
This is such a good thing, those zombies.
We don't have a radiological situation where we have to have air filters that all get clogged because they burned up the Alberta tar sands, like Jimmy Payne says. So we certainly are manifesting. And, I think we haven't seen the Civil War here break out in the U.S.
Exactly.
I just watched this movie, Civil War. It's actually pretty good, but they were trying to portray it like Trump was going to be the source of this. Great, but the point is, I think everything's going to be fine if we just stay positive. There's been a lot of negative predictions, and they don't usually come true. I mean, still negative things do happen, but we can. I want to read this prayer before we go on to the quantum jumping. I think that might be my last question here, but. So this was from the book, the Talmud of Emmanuel. So that predates the book of Matthew. There was a priest who discovered this document, and this was before the Council of Nicaea changed it. So again, this is the Lord's Prayer, according to Isu Emmanuel. Therefore, pray as one knows. Thus you should pray as follows. My spirit, you exist within omnipotence. May your name be holy, and may your kingdom incarnate itself within me. May your power unfold itself within me on earth and in the heavens. Give me today my daily bread, that I may recognize my wrongdoings and the truth. And lead me not into temptation and confusion, but deliver me from evil. For yours is the kingdom within me, and the power and the knowledge forever. Amen. And when you pray in your spirit, it will give you this request, what you request, and have trust in this knowledge, and you will receive. So
very nice.
That's beautiful.
Thank
You could say when you're doing that, I mean, it's almost like you could feel like the goosebumps coming from you. So that's the thing, you're feeling the vibe with, you're connected to that. You know what I mean? If that's what lights you up, and if that's what flows your spirit, I mean, I think you run with that. You know what I mean? It's what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? We find the thing that works for us, and we live by good universal principles, which is for each other, for ourselves, everything like that. But find the way you can interpret it. Just find the way you can interpret it. I mean, a lot of things is like, we as a society tend to fight for so many things and get upset about so many things. Like, a lot of people, like, we interview them a lot. I mean, they act like we're not in the third world. You know what I mean? We've been to third world, and this is not a third world. This is a pretty decent place. I mean, overall, I mean, so, just put it in perspective, what we think we're fighting for. Do we really know when you go on and take on a cause? I mean, a lot of that disrupts one's manifestation and one's ability, because sometimes you're fighting a fight that's not your fight to fight. And you do it just because that's what the band did. You know what I mean? Or that's where the rest of the traffic's going. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying those are valuable fights. Just ask yourself before you enter into that world, is that your fight to fight?
What is quantum jumping? And can both of you, if you do have examples, give us an example of how it helped your life?
I'm not a physicist by any stretch of the imagination. I can only speak from my own personal experiences. I would say quantum jumping, from my experiences, literally shifting your reality. I think we're quantum jumping all day long. I also think we're living in different frequencies and different vibrations all day long. Not only that, you could be living in a town, and the town itself, whether it's big or small, we live in South Florida. And it's very, very interesting, because where we live, I feel like we live in a very high vibrational, very high frequency. But we could literally go out the door or go a few miles away, and the frequency is completely different. So from my perspective, quantum jumping is really just altering your reality by shifting your mindset, by raising or lowering your level of consciousness, because we go in and out of levels of consciousness all day long. The trick to the whole thing is trying to maintain a higher state of vibration and a higher frequency throughout the day. And when you do start to feel that you're having, like, let's call it a 3D moment, whether, all of a sudden you went from like a very joyous place to now you're like ready to, take someone's head off. You want to get out of that experience as quick as possible. Realize, just kind of step back from it, realize, what happened, and, don't harp on it. Just, say, thank you. I understand. I get what I need to do now. And then start to do something quickly that is going to put you in a happier state of mind. So I think the quantum jumping is really just going through different frequency, different levels of consciousness all throughout the day.
Yeah.
And the key is trying to keep your consciousness at a higher level.
You know, my view on it, and I think this is something that everybody's going to have a lot of view, but again, just speaking about our personal views on this, is I look at quantum jumping as there's multiple versions of me that are living a life that I want. So for example, there could be an extremely healthy version of me. There could be an extremely wealthy version of me. So when I think about that, if I'm wanting something or help in any of those areas, spiritually, whatever that may be, I'm going to go to the version of me. So I'm going to call out to that version of me that I believe already has that. It's a lot of it is having fun with it, right? So it's almost like applying it as like if it's a video game. So for example, if I want, you know, more wealth or something, I'd be like, all right, Wealthy Jay, let's talk. Come over to here, download or infuse me with what you got to know. You see what I'm saying? So I call upon it from those kind of things is what we do. And you know, we tend to take a lot of the stuff, you know, it's real. We feel like there is multiverses, there's multiple things going on because there's so much unexplained, but that's what it means. That's what it gets down to. There is so much unexplained. So for us, for me, I mean, I'd like to treat it like a video game. I really do. I mean, until someone shows me really anything differently, I'm going to have fun with this thing. So I'm going to say, okay, let me get the healthier version of myself to come on in and work with me at that level. Maybe they're calling me in their things. Maybe that's why I feel a deja vu of some sort, like where am I at, or that unique experience, or I've seen you before. You know what I mean? Maybe there's multiple persons of us being called. Do we know? I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of physics or science. I mean, like April says, that's not our jam, but just the experience of it, the actual feeling of it is you know, there's a reality to these things. Find out who to call for help. And, you know, I figured the best person, you know, that I've been able to distinguish to call for help is some version of myself, because I believe some version of myself has done this, you know what I mean? Or is connected to something. So it seems to work. You know what I mean? You know, at present, it really does. It seems to work. And so I like to live it from that perspective.
Certainly. So by maintaining that high vibrational frequency of staying positive and love and surrounding yourself with other people who also follow those same beliefs, you will essentially just continually transfer your consciousness to other parallel realities where you're co-creating as if like you're a creator God. I know that might be, some people may not be able to quite comprehend that, but I mean, Jesus did say we had the faith to move mountains. So yeah, and then we have this thing where we have Mandela effects where you may remember a reality that was different than everybody else. Like for me, I remember, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I remember Tank Boy being run down by a tank in Tiananmen Square a very long time ago. And there was blood. There was a streak of blood on the road. And I remember the reporters' mouths were like open. They were just shocked. It was like stunned silence on how evil the CCP is. And then I went back and looked at the footage, and Tank Boy was escorted away. So I think there probably was a nuclear war on that other timeline. And I quantum jumped over here so I could be with all you guys and experience NESARA, right? Well, we're still waiting to see it, but well, let's bring it in now. Yeah,
that's the beauty of it all. Is just that we you know, that's the thing. That's the most amazing, beautiful thing about this is that everybody appears to have a very unique consciousness that's unique to them, that they've experienced. And again, we get so easy to judge, oh, they're out of their mind, or they're not experiencing that, or you know, they're not on the galactic or whatever. We don't know. You know, how do we know ultimately, right? We just don't know. So why not embrace it? And if it gets them to help them get to you know, live this existence better and really kind of go there, I think we should be cheering them on.
All right. Well, you two are putting on a seminar. Why don't you explain a little bit about that, and we can go from there.
Sure.
So yeah, we just have we have a couple of things. So everybody is more than welcome to go to gnostictv.com. We got thousands of videos in there right now. They're all free. Just kind of watch it. Just enjoy yourself, gnostictv.com. And then we have the 5deconomy.com. Go check that out, because that's we were able to put together in about 80 videos, would you say? Mm-hmm. About 80 different videos, 2 to 3 minute bite-sized wisdom nuggets that help someone set their day straight. So for example, even like us, it's like we do it, but it sets the tone for your day. Okay. So part of manifestation, part of like not letting things affect you is how you start your day. So for example, if you just jump out of bed and you go, you know, you're not settled in yet. You know what I mean? There's a chances that your spirit and your body haven't connected. So a lot of times it teaches you how to connect the mind, body, and spirit together to begin with. Then it starts you to think about what are these things that you can set the tone for. So when the things that are going to happen, all of us happen, they just don't phase you that much. It's called the 5D economy. It's a principle that we put together that allows us to live abundantly in many different areas, right? Mind, body, spirit, prosperity, all the way around. But it encompasses us as a human being. So take a look. The links will be there. You know, and they can kind of get some videos, and it's pretty cool. People ask us questions. We in turn answer the questions for them. So a lot of people did submit their own questions on that, and it's all done on video. So, you know, hope you enjoy it.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that. And is that like an ongoing thing, or is that like a one-time event? What is the 5D economy? How about we respond to that one?
Yeah. It's an ongoing thing that we'll be continually putting videos out there, and like anything else, it's just we're evolving. So as the need evolves in life, then we get answers. We'll keep adding to that. But if you go to the 5D economy.com, you'll see that the videos are there. You'll see they're in different categories, how to manifest universal laws, things of that nature. I mean, it's going to have different categories, different steps in there. So the 5D economy is really creating abundance by helping others create abundance. So it takes into consideration, not from me, it takes in consideration when we go to create abundance, we take a look at our vibrational match, our soul tribe. How do we do it together? That's what the 5D. It's a multidimensional way of prosperity. It's not just it's not all me.
Yeah,
it's not an every man.
What can I do to help you also create abundance?
Yeah,
and prosper.
It takes into consideration someone else's vision. So everybody's got their own visions. Everybody's got their own dreams. It takes into consideration helping the other person's dreams come true, so yours can come true. Not just about, hey, look at my dream and we could do all great together if we just follow my dream. It's not about that. Everybody's got their own dreams. We need to honor that.
Thank you so much for that. I think we did have one more question. Okay, it was from Christy. Was asking about you contacted a bunch of people recently.
Oh yeah, hey.
What was it?
They took away my ability to pin people. I pinned it. I'm sorry. So Christy, you want to put that post in there again?
So probably referring to, on Gnostic TV, we're looking to meet people. Like, would love to chat with people. If you feel like you got a great idea for a show, or you're doing a show,
you want to get interviewed,
you want to get in, or you may just simply want to get interviewed. I mean, reach out to us. We'd love to. Look, at the end of the day, we're simply looking for our vibrational matches. I mean, nothing more, nothing less. We come from a principle of like, look, we can talk, we can meet, and if the chemistry's there, what can we do to help you along your way, and what can we do that's mutually together? I mean, if you, like Staple was saying, if you want to be interviewed on shows, if you want to, you have your own show, maybe you want to be a speaker at an event, maybe you want to create your own event, right? So yeah, we have been reaching out to people. We have been putting out posts like that. So some of you may have seen that. So that is us. Hello.
All right. Thank you all. So everybody, there is a conference coming up this next weekend. It is the, oh gosh, I didn't even put the Appalachian Starseed reunion. I'm gonna have to put that link in there. So tickets are still available. I will be there. That is in Old Fort, North Carolina. That's in the mountains near Asheville. And I'll look forward to meet you. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. I really appreciate you, Jay and April, for taking time out.
You are you're a special human being, man. You really are. You're a beautiful spirit. It's nice to meet your spirit in this lifetime. It really is, whatever one believes. But you're great.
Yeah, namaste, love and light. And that also applies to the audience members for joining us in this manifestation chat here. So I'm going to be bringing out more information like this in the future to give you a more wider variety of information, because I know a lot of the topics that we delve onto here are very negative, but this one is certainly a lot more positive. So, all right, well, let's call it a day. I love you all, and let's talk all later, okay?
No.
On the other side.
We'll see you. Bye, everybody.
Much love.
See you all. Bye.